Welcome to the Grateful American series, an interactive multimedia program designed to restore enthusiasm in American history for kids and adults too. Creator of this series is David Bruce Smith, an author and publisher here in Washington, D.C. I'm Hope Katz Gibbs, your co-host, founder of Incandescent Public Relations and Incandescent TV. We are here today at Alexander Hamilton's home, the Grange, in New York City. In fact, this is called Hamilton Heights. And our guest today is Liam Strain, who currently serves as District Ranger for the North District of Manhattan sites of the National Park System. So welcome to the show, Liam.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about Alexander Hamilton.
He's an adventure novel. It comes from poor circumstances in the Caribbean, fights valiantly in the American Revolution, first joins the militia as a young teen, becomes a captain of his own artillery company, which came about because he went down to the Battery and stole cannon with some other college students.
And then during the Revolutionary War, he was the aide-de-camp to George Washington, right?
Yeah, as a young man, barely in his 20s, gaining the complete trust of the most influential man in the Revolutionary Army, if not the entire nation, and was able to carry that kind of responsibility and not only do it admirably, but beyond anybody's expectations.
During his career, Hamilton was a military officer, lawyer, a member of the United States Constitutional Convention, an American political philosopher, author of the majority of the Federalist Papers, and he was the first Secretary of the Treasury. So let's talk more about the Federalist Papers.
Well, the Federalist Papers were a series of newspaper entries that were intended for the public, for the average person. It was an appeal, a blow-by-blow explanation of the idea and the concept of what this new American nation would be about. Hamilton very much believed that we needed to be a one unified nation. It's an amazing time to have these many great minds in the same place at the same time. It was just amazing. Where they agreed on very fundamental issues, they often disagreed on how to approach the solutions or how to carry them out. And Hamilton and Jefferson in particular were quite at odds.
Hamilton commissioned architect John McComb Jr. to design this country home. The two-story frame Federal-style house was completed in 1802, just 2 years before Hamilton's death, which resulted in the infamous duel with Aaron Burr on July 11, 1804. The following day, Hamilton died from his wounds.
Burr and Hamilton were the best lawyers probably on the continent. They worked together on occasion, and they worked in opposition to each other. If those two men could not find another solution to their difficulties without resorting to an illegal activity, then that's not something to be applauded. Hamilton himself felt cornered. He regretted that the social convention of the day, he felt, required him to go through with this, or that he would be useless as a public figure for the rest of his life.
This house is an amazing historical site. It's been moved twice. This is its third location.
Correct.
And Hamilton had a real vision for this. It was his Monticello, his Montpelier, his Mount Vernon.
He called it his suite project. The house was designed to be very light and airy with big double-hung windows, big piazzas on the outside. It was a place meant to entertain.
So how do you pass on this historical enthusiasm to kids and adults, but especially kids?
One of the things that we try to do here is to make him human. Hamilton's story has so many elements that relate to modern kids, I think. From there, we can talk about how he took those desires and those feelings and those experiences and what he did with them. He sought to do good, that he sought to do big and great things and didn't limit himself by his circumstances. As I think we quote from our film here at the downstairs in the visitor center, we all live in Alexander Hamilton's America. He was responsible for the concept of implied powers of the Constitution. Without that concept and without it being accepted by the judiciary and the Congress, we wouldn't have anything that the government does that's not specifically spelled out in the Constitution. Things like the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Social Security, NASA, or indeed the very National Park System.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Liam.
It was my pleasure.
This is just fantastic. We learned so much about Alexander Hamilton, someone who not most Americans know enough about, but he was clearly a founding father. And being here at the Grange, his beautiful home, is a real treat. That's it for today's episode of the Grateful American series. We look forward to restoring enthusiasm in American history for you and your kids. Be sure to check out our website for more episodes at www.incandescenttv.com.